Welcome to a beautiful night in downtown St. Louis. A view from the other side back at the Arch in the ballpark where the Cardinals and Marlins will hook up. First of a three-game set here tonight on FSN Midwest. The Cards are back in more ways than one. Back at home in their ballpark, Busch Stadium, where that championship banner flies in front of their home fans. And back alive in the NL Central. Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Buck along with Al Raboski. And Al, you leave, you come back after a 4-2 trip, and things look completely different in the division, only 3 games out at the start of the night.
Well, that's right, Joe. After a very good homestand the last time, 5-2, they go on the road against the 2 teams ahead of them, and they have a winning trip and pick up 2.5 games. The best thing about the upcoming schedule is 13 of the next 16 games are at home, where the club is 3 games over 500.
And who goes tonight to start this homestand? A guy who, Al, has stepped to the front of the rotation, Adam Wainwright.
Well, he really has. He's 4-2 since the All-Star break with a 2.63 ERA.
He's just getting better and better. Joel Goldberg has been around the team all day, and he shares his thoughts on the pulse of the team from the dugout.
Well, Joe, I'll tell you what, it usually seems like this time of year, dog days of summer, you see teams looking a little tired, but there is a lot of pep in the step of this team. As you mentioned, they're back in the race. There's a lot of excitement in the clubhouse, and they really believe they can win this thing, and why not? They're playing great baseball. The pitching has been very good, and they're also very excited to be home away from those small clubhouses in the rain at Wrigley Field. We're going to take a break here on FSN Midwest. When we come back, Joe and Al take a look at Scott Rowland's big at bat in the first yesterday.
We welcome you back to Busch Stadium before the first of this set between the Cardinals and the Marlins. And we look back to yesterday, and we give you a Chevy pitch by pitch. Second and third, nobody out, Al. Pujols and Encarnacion didn't get it done, but Rowland had a great at bat.
Well, they just tried to work him over with fastballs, maybe a little bit of a cut fastball, trying to work the inside, maybe thinking that shoulder's bad, and a looping curveball right here. He fouls it off, and then eventually comes back with another fastball inside. This one he did not get inside, and he was able to hook it down the left field corner. Just a matter of inches. It stayed fair, and it led to this quote.
This Geico quote, I went up there to give him, Ted Lilly, all that he could handle in that at bat. Fortunately, I was rewarded. Every time I hear a quote from Scott Rowland, I never know if he's serious or not. I'm going to say he was serious on that one. A big hit and the Cardinal 2-run win yesterday at Wrigley. More coming up. Cardinals baseball on FSN Midwest, brought to you by Bud.TV, where entertainment is always on and only on www.bud.tv. By Auto Tire, the tire pros. For the lowest bottom line price, you ought to go to Auto Tire. By Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. A live shot at the escalators here at Busch Stadium, delivering fans to their seats as we speak. It's a nice night. What's the deal? What's happened around here? I come back and what is this, the 21st of August, and we're waiting for the team to hit the field. I don't know that in the 16 or 17 years I've been doing this, we've ever been in this situation waiting for the Cardinals to take the field. What's going on? A few minutes ago,
that's what it is.
Bruce Fleming has received his award. He has umpired over 5,000 major league games, a career that started in 1971, and he was honored here tonight moments ago with this crowd giving him a terrific ovation. A dear friend of my dad's, and a nice moment, and something that I know means a lot to him as he's honored by these great Cardinal fans.
You know what I remember from Bruce?
What's that?
He made a call from second base in a pennant race late in the season with Cardinals playing the Pittsburgh Pirates in Pittsburgh. Slide at home plate. A ball got away from Dave Justy, threw it to Sanguillen, and the ball got away from Sanguillen. Lou Brock raced home, clouded dust. The home umpire called him out. Big brouhaha, and Red got the other umpires to ask for help, and he was the only one that called it from second base. Danny Murtaugh went berserk and everything, but he got to play right.
That was before they actually asked for help.
Sure.
That was a different era. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Florida Marlins. And they will lead it off with Hanley Ramirez, rapidly rising as one of the best in the business. Alejandro De Aza is in center. Then it's Miguel Cabrera. He's all world over at third. Willingham in left. Jacobs at first base. Hugla. Hermida is in right. Matt Trainer does the catching. And it's Baroni on the mound for the Marlins. And here is the Cardinals half of the Rico pitching matchup. And we've talked ad nauseum tonight already about the exploits of Adam Wainwright, but boy, his numbers are getting better and better as we go along.
First ever start against the Marlins, a team high 25th start here tonight, and he's 4-2 since the All-Star break with an ERA of 2.63. He's only allowed one home run in his last 54 innings and runs in just one of his last 20 innings, spanning his last 3 starts. So he is pitching some of his best baseball this season.
Take a look at the Cardinal defense, brought to you by Auto Tire. We go around the horn, and it's Ankiel in left. That'll make fans happy. They want to see more and more of Rick Ankiel. Why not? Edmonds in center, Encarnacion in right. Ryan is over at third base tonight. Eckstein, Miles, Pujols, Yadier Molina doing the catching for Adam Wainwright. Everybody wants to talk about number 24, Rick Ankiel. And why not? With his made for Hollywood baseball story, he is the talk of Major League Baseball, not just St. Louis, and he's got fans across the country rooting for him to succeed.
Got on the bus yesterday and I said, why is everybody making a big deal about your throwing arm? And he goes, I wonder that too. We all know he could throw. Why are people surprised?
First pitch is a ball to Hanley Ramirez, and if you don't know much about Hanley Ramirez, just give it time. 1-0 pitch is inside. There are some who now start the conversation, that age-old conversation, who would you start a franchise with? Ramirez is starting to get into that discussion.
And you see he's leading the National League in average.
And he hits one past Brendan Ryan into left field, where Ankiel will pick it up. And Hanley Ramirez adds to that league-leading .336 average, and that's the way the night begins for Adam Wainwright.
Combination of power and speed. Ryan off the line, but beyond the dive and reach. And Ramirez just crushes Cardinal pitching. He's near 400 now.
So Wainwright, right out of the gate, will work from the stretch. Hanley Ramirez and his 39 stolen bases reside over at first, and Alejandro De Aza is at the plate hitting .272. This is a Marlins team that can pound the ball. They hit a lot of home runs and they swing and miss a lot. Time called at the plate.
You're right about that. They have over 1,000 strikeouts. There are over 100 errors committed. And Gonzalez has seen his team, kind of really never change their approach.
Runner goes, Molina's throw, and goodbye. Hanley Ramirez. Yadier Molina takes care of out number 1. He got another.
Well, Ramirez had 39 steals, and it looked like the throw beat Ramirez. A bit high, so we'll have to watch the tag. Good snap throw. And sliding feet first. Do they get the tag down? Very close right there, but I think Mark Wegner was in good position and he made the right call.
Breaking ball drops in for a strike, 0-2 on De Aza. I'll say this, the throw beat him. The glove got down before the legs of Ramirez got in there, but I think Ramirez got his legs around the tag. I think Eckstein whiffed a little on that tag, but nobody complained, and it's out number 1. 0-2 pitch. Oh, that is just trickery. And De Aza goes down swinging. 2 out. What a good pitch that was.
How rare is it for a base stealer in today to slide feet first? That maybe caused some of the whiff. Good accurate throw. A little bit high with the throw. He gets it down. He gets him in the back of the calf. And you probably was safe in there. But here's that good breaking ball. And right over the top. Nice block by Molina on that one, but he has to complete the throw to first base.
So 2 out, nobody on, and Miguel Cabrera, who has done nothing, Al, but just rip the baseball since his first night in the big leagues when he homered down in Florida. And there are the numbers. They are terrific. 7th in average, 4th in home runs, 5th in RBIs. And that's down and in 2-0.
Wasn't in the lineup yesterday. Reported the ballpark about 30 minutes late. And taken out of the starting lineup, did pinch it and delivered a hit. The hit machine. Second on the all-time home run list for Marlins third in RBIs.
Good pitch down and away. 2-1 on Cabrera. Cardinals will be facing Daniel Baroni, who's 0-1 with an ERA over 6. This is a Florida team. As you look at the split screen of two of the better right-handed hitters in all of baseball, this is a Florida team also. We talked about the offense, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of home runs, and a team that is below the Cardinals in pitching now with what they're running out there day after day.
Yeah, they've had a lot of injuries to that pitching, and particularly the rotation. And they've got a couple of their big horses that probably will miss next year.
Cabrera thought it was going to hit him. He was fooled on the pitch. And after jumping out of the batter's box, he comes back to the plate with a full count. Here are the strikeouts, and Dan Uggla leads the way with 130. That, the National League, is the third highest total, but they are pretty well stacked up behind him.
Uggla does give you a lot of production, but over 1,000 strikeouts already.
Chris Duncan is on that list for the Cardinals. 3-2 pitch. Cabrera takes ball 4, a 2-out walk. So a single by Ramirez, then he was out stealing. A strikeout of Daza, now a walk to Cabrera. And Josh Willingham will dig his way in. Our four dealers key matchup, not only tonight but in this series, a matchup of two of the best young right-handed hitters in all of baseball, and the numbers are awfully similar. Cabrera has been more consistent from the beginning, and Pujols has gotten hotter as the days have ticked off the calendar.
Yeah, I think it's also fair to say that Cabrera's had a little more protection consistently behind him. And Albert now on a little home run binge, but most of those are solo shots. Difference in the RBI total.
That's outside. A ball and a strike on Josh Willingham. He's got 19 home runs. So they've got an outfielder, Willingham, with 19 home runs. They've got their middle infield combination with over 20 with Uggla and Ramirez. That's a fair ball. What a pick by Ryan. Long throw, and Pujols can't dig it out. The runners will end up at second and third with 2 away. Ryan did the hard part, but then rushed it a little. It's an error on the throw, and the Marlins have a chance to take a first inning lead.
Not too sure this ball does not hit the bag on top of it. Nope, it just misses, but gets to the ball. The long throw, it's a little bit offline. Albert tried to back up and get a more accurate hop that he could deal with, and couldn't haul it in. No damage yet. See if Wainwright can't pitch around the 2-base error.
Second and third, 2 out. Mike Jacobs at the plate. 11 home runs for Jacobs, a .261 average, and a ball up and away. Uggla with his 23 home runs on deck. We've seen just about everything you can see in the top half of the first inning. There's been guys all over the place. An error now mixed in, and a 1-0 pitch to Jacobs. Little pop up, third base side, should play for Ryan. And he can't make the play. Circled it, had a shot at ending the inning, and instead Jacobs will get another try. Certainly not an easy play over the shoulder, but
not at all. And of course, you know, one time you make one error. Remember, he's played only a couple starts at third base. He has not had any problem prior to this game, and that was a tough play on the first one, and equally tough on the foul ball.
Here's a 1-1. I'll tell you, the Cardinals won 2 out of 3 down in Florida, and Brendan Ryan within that series played some of the best third base we've seen all year.
And remember, that was only his second start of his life, and the other one was in the minor leagues, his first year.
2 balls and a strike on Jacobs. It'd be something if Wainwright could get around all of this mess and keep it scoreless. That's inside. 3-1. First base is open, and the right-handed hitting Uggla on deck.
The pitch right there is called a strike frequently. but I guess not in the 5,000 games plus games that Fromming's seen.
I told Bruce that we'd be second guessing him all night. 3-1 pitch is over but low. Check swing by Jacobs, and the bases are loaded. 2 walks, a strikeout, a single, a man out stealing, an error, and the bases are loaded with 2 away. And I think right now Adam Wainwright feels like he's getting squeezed behind home plate. There are the numbers for Uggla.
23 home runs. He's got 41 doubles, a couple triples, with those 130 strikeouts.
Time called at the plate. The Cubs, in case you're wondering, tonight they're out in San Francisco. Marquee against Lincecum. And Milwaukee is playing at Arizona. Bush and Hernandez hooking up in that game. That's all later. There is a ball outside, a check swing, and Wainwright is wondering what he has to do to get a strike. Ball 1.
Not only potential check swings, but it's a very small strike zone to work with right out of the chute.
1-0 pitch to Uggla with the bases loaded. Oh. You can see why the strikeouts pile up for Uggla. What a rip, and a helicopter on top of it. There are the numbers, and there are the games later. Cardinals 3 out behind that combination of Chicago and Milwaukee.
And a lot of people believe that this Marlins ball club never changes its approach at the plate. Doesn't matter if Wainwright's throwing or Jamie Moyer, is flat out let it fly.
That breaking ball is behind the back of Uggla. 2-1. First year at the controls for Freddie Gonzalez. Well-respected baseball man and a guy who has learned a lot over the years, and he has his hands full with this young Florida team.
Yeah, with all the injuries, and that's part of the problem. You know, you can put out a decent team, but when the injuries, you can't recover. And Freddie, as you said, well respected, paid his dues, long time minor league manager. Then he was up here as a coach, went to Bobby Cox's staff in Atlanta, and then now getting his first shot at managing at the big league level.
Crowd getting behind Adam Wainwright here in the first inning, and that's not even close. 3-1.
Can't get over his breaking ball over right now, whether it's the slider or the curveball. And you got to stay with it, because what you struggle with early may be your best pitch down the road. But trying to be a little too perfect, and you got to be careful, because as we said, these guys got pop, but don't give them too much credit.
Wainwright has gone as far as he can go without giving up a run here in the first inning. And he's got to make a pitch here in what is an early key at bat in this game. Might have chased ball 4 up and in, and it's a full count. But Uggla's up there to swing.
And sometimes as a pitcher, you can use that aggressiveness of a hitter to your advantage, because they will swing frequently at borderline pitches.
I wonder how much Wainwright trusts the curveball right now.
And a lot of times when you get in this situation, you throw a breaking ball anywhere near the plate, you'll get that hitter to go for it. But you bring up a very good point, because he has not had command of it yet.
Now Wainwright's going to work out of the stretch. And it's over. He went as far as he could go, and Wainwright wins that last battle. No score. No score after a half. The Cardinals trying to stay hot, coming off that win yesterday in a rain-soaked Wrigley Field. Did lose the series to the Cubs. Swept the Brewers. 4-2 trip. Gained 2.5 games in the standings. And we look at a couple of big strikeouts in the last 2 starts for Adam Wainwright. We go back to Thursday in Milwaukee.
Well, here, 3-2 pitch. He throws the curveball for the strikeout. Now tonight, 3-1, he threw a fastball, and he throws a slider right here to get the strikeout. And right before Molina put down that sign, or right afterwards, he really kind of told Wainwright, he said, hey, come on, this is the pitch you're going to get him out with. Didn't have the confidence in the curveball yet, but he said, I believe you can get the slider by him, and he did.
That was our Hardy's hot pitch as Eckstein looks at one that's over but low. Ball one from Baroni, the right-hander. It's Eckstein, Ankiel, Pujols. If anybody gets on, Edmonds in the cleanup spot tonight. At more, I think, more than any other time in Tony La Russa's tenure with the Cardinals, guys have to come in and check the lineup card and figure out A, if they're playing, Eckstein gets out of the way, B, what position, and C, where they're hitting. He's always moved guys around in the lineup, but moving guys all over the place defensively now more than ever.
Yeah, it's just, it's got like 4 middle infielders for the 3 spots. Ryan has really made his presence known, and with Scott Rowland and his tender shoulder, you kind of, it's a situation where he'll get more rest than normal.
Advance Auto Parts pitching matchup for the Marlins side is this right-hander with an ERA over 6.
He's making his 3rd start, Joe, and Baroni is really struggled against right-handers. In 8 2/3 innings, he's allowed 8 runs on 12 hits. He's struck out 6. He's walked 6. He's allowed 3 home runs. And right-handers have really been pounding him. They're 8 for 18 with 2 home runs, 444 average. He started in Double-A this year. He's moved up to Triple-A, and with all the pitching injuries, he finds himself pitching in the big leagues.
3-2 pitch, Eckstein. Here he is in battle mode, trying to hit a mistake or take a walk. Still a full count. And still filing in, and this place will be jam-packed. Probably the next 20 or 30 minutes. 3-2 pitch is popped up. Big, unusual swing by Eckstein, who got under it. Hanley Ramirez is out to get it. 1 away. Let's take a look at the Cardinal lineup. You know, Eckstein, Ankiel is digging in now. Then Pujols, Edmonds cleaning up. Encarnacion in right. Yadier Molina's been hot. Miles at second. Wainwright hitting 8th. Brendan Ryan is in the number 9 spot at 3rd. And a nice ovation now and during the announcement of the lineups. Every time Rick Ankiel goes anywhere now, he is received warmly. First pitch from Baroni. Ball 1.
Rick has hit all 7 games, 10 for 32 with 4 home runs. A couple times he had walks and pinch hitting appearances.
He's got a rather intimidating look to him when he stands up there. Looks like he is ready to rip. And chasing a ball up and away. It's 2-1. 32 home runs in the minor leagues and 4 exciting ones here at the big league level for Tony La Russa. Reaching for it to Ugla. 2 out, and Albert will bat with the bases empty and 2 away. Auto tire around the horn. We show you the Marlins defense. Willingham, De Aza, and Hermida in the outfield. Cabrera, Hanley Ramirez with his 19 errors. Ugla and Jacobs with Matt Trainer doing the catching for the Marlins.
37 errors on the left side of the infield. Cabrera 18, Ramirez 19. But 2 players every team would covet.
You know, from a distance, certainly not facially, but from a distance, Hanley Ramirez reminds me physically of Edgar Renteria when he was in a Marlins uniform. When you look at him that way, certainly not at all, but when you look at his body and the size that he is, the way he moves around, he looks a lot like Renteria.
Good point. Does. Ramirez just, you know, you talk about his errors, but there's an awful lot of talent that goes with it.
2-1 pitch is inside. 3-1. Edmonds on deck. With 2 out, Albert rips one. There's Ramirez in the hole. Is that some of the talent you were talking about? He can hit, he can run, he can field. He may have 19 errors, but he's got great range and a strong arm. We have played one here in St. Louis. Marlins coming up in the second. No score. We welcome you back and remind you that Bank of America, official bank of the St. Louis Cardinals. Visit them at bankofamerica.com. Second inning, Adam Wainwright made it interesting in the top of the first, allowed a hit. Yadier Molina took care of that with taking care of Ramirez on the bases, catching him stealing. A strikeout, a walk, an error, another walk, and a strikeout. No score in the second with Hermida, Trainer, Baroni the pitcher coming up. Strike one starts the second. Jeremy Hermida with 11 home runs, 40 RBIs, hitting .272.
Not to forget his first major league at bat, grand slam off of Al Reyes.
Fooled there, out in front of that pitch. It's 0-2.
That's the thing. If you get that breaking ball and you get a changeup or the cutter working, because these guys are in attack mode, you can exploit their over aggressiveness.
And a 3-pitch strikeout, number 3 on the night for Adam Wainwright. One away in the second. You know, when you think back to spring training as you watch the strikeout again and you think about the question marks for this Cardinals pitching staff, you thought about Wainwright going back to the rotation and then what the Cardinals would get out of Isringhausen at the back end of the bullpen. And those have been literally the two brightest spots, the pitching staff, for Dave Duncan. And Wainwright is in that category because he's been getting better as the season's been ongoing.
Yeah, he's just arguably go back to his start in Los Angeles. 2+ innings, got roughed up in that game, and I think he learned an awful lot, came back and said, I'm tired of this. Since that time, he's found the release point on his curveball. Fastball has a little more life, and one of the better pitchers.
That's well hit into left off the bat of Trainer. Rick Ankiel didn't read it right. His throw into second base is pretty good, but late. And it's a 1-out double. Not to say that that ball should have been caught, but Ankiel was fooled at how hard it was hit by Matt Trainer, and it's a 1-out double.
Rick has had some trouble reading some balls in right field, and he's played very little left field this season, whether it's been at the minor league level or here. Throw way offline, but you can see the accuracy or the strength of the arm.
Here's the pitcher. Baroni doesn't look like he has a chance against Wainwright. Strike one. So he looks down at the third base coach. See how they want to play it. They have an outstanding hitter in the on deck circle in Hanley Ramirez, who has 64 RBIs out of that leadoff spot. So they're going to try and advance the runner. Trainer over to third as Baroni shows bunt, takes ball one.
Even if they do not get the bunt down and advance the runner, Ramirez is the type of guy that can score him from second base as easily as he can do it from third.
He doesn't look like he can swing it and is not too comfortable laying down a bunt.
That 2 strikes don't do him any favor by laying one in there. Elevate the ball, maybe get a pop up, and more than likely just a strikeout.
See, Wainwright can find his 4th strikeout. I don't think he likes the curveball, so if he can drop one in, you can mark it down. It's 2-2.
That's been the problem. He can't throw one in the strike zone right now, as he's really fighting the curveball, but it'll be one of his biggest pitches later on.
2-2 pitch. Got him on the outside corner, painted the black, and that's out number 2, strikeout number 4. You're looking for great seats for this Florida series or this weekend against Atlanta. Great seats to the Marlins and Braves series are available online right now. Check out the Prime Seat Club at stlcardinals.com.
A couple thousand seats available for the Braves series this weekend. A lot of seats available for Cincinnati series starting September 1st.
With 2 out, breaking ball is in for a strike to Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez singled, was out stealing his first time, and he's trying to put Florida on top with a hit. Marlins start this night second to last in the NL East, actually tied with Washington, 15 games out behind the Mets, who have now opened up a 5-game lead over both Philly and Atlanta. 0-1. Ball 1.
Joe, this Florida ball club, it seems like they play much better on the road. They're only 2 games under 500 away from home, and obviously they respond playing in the better, more attended ballparks. So it's a team you have to show great respect for.
Another good pitch from Wainwright. It's 1-2. Yeah, there's no shortage of talent for this Florida team, and it's always been that way, it seems like. And every time they get a group primed and ready, they either win, like they have twice in their history. Now it's Gonzalez. Freddie Gonzalez is their manager, or they break it apart, and you see their stars winning Gold Gloves and winning batting titles and winning World Series rings with other teams.
And a lot of times when they do have a fire sale, they have very good scouting, and they end up getting a lot in return. How's the stadium issue?
That's ongoing since second one. There's Dontrelle Willis, who's the subject of trade rumors every year. 1-2 pitch. Still 1-2. They won in '97 under Leland. They won in 2003 under Jack McKeon, beating the Yankees. '97 7-game series against Cleveland.
By the way, the new thing on the stadium issue is that apparently University of Miami is going to start playing their football games at Joe Robbie as early as next season, and that so they'll vacate the Orange Bowl, and that may be the new site. Not the most desirable, but maybe one to where the Florida lawmakers could at least say, okay, revitalize that area.
Pitch is high to Ramirez. It's 2-2. Colorado Rockies came in the same year as the Florida Marlins, and postseason wise, all they have to show for their years as a franchise is a wild card appearance under Don Baylor. That's the end of the inning, and that's 5 strikeouts already for Adam Wainwright. He gets Ramirez, and the Marlins have stranded 4. Bottom of the second, Edmonds due to lead it off. Coming up for the Cardinals, no score. Give you this Schnucks date in baseball history. Scott Rowland hits his first 2 big league home runs off Hideo Nomo back in 1996. That was Tony La Russa's first year as Cardinal manager. Rowland's first year in the big leagues with the Phillies. First up is Jim Edmonds.
Jim for his last 14 as that nerve impingement has kind of flared up again. Something he can tolerate, as it hasn't affected his defense. He's had 2 or more hits in 7 of his last 14 games.
It's on the inside corner, 1-2, and that has as much to do with the comment we made last inning about La Russa always having to juggle this lineup with Rowland's left shoulder and Edmonds in that nerve situation, and Pujols. You know, you never know when
Those injuries will be too much to bear, although Albert is just the one guy that you can look across baseball that no matter what seems to be wrong with him physically, he always, knock on wood, goes out there and plays.
Yeah, he has nagging little injuries. Elbow is kind of a cause for concern, but you know, Molina played every inning of the road trip, and starting here again, he's got a tender knee. We know about Encarnacion's knee.
Edmonds is jammed, could not extend his arms at all, and that's into center field for De Aza. One away. Cardinals still looking for their first base runner, and Encarnacion is trying to become that person. Little war of words that was quickly snuffed out. More with Tony La Russa than with the guy at the plate, but these two didn't really see eye to eye a week ago.
Ah, they kissed and made up.
Everything okay now?
Oh, sure.
We're all friends?
Sort of.
Encarnacion is hitting .288, 8 homers, 44 RBIs. And after starting the year on the injured list with that bad wrist, he's really put together a pretty nice season. Former Marlin, 3 out of 9 this year against Florida. Won a ring with him back in 2003, and he floats one over the head of the third baseman, fair. And Encarnacion will have an easy double with 1 out here in the second.
Had some good at bats in Chicago. He missed the entire Milwaukee series. Swinging hard, and this time he needed to muscle it out there and just inside the foul line for his double.
Giving Yadier Molina the RBI chance.
And he didn't hit much in Chicago, but boy, he stung the ball in Milwaukee, and for the trip was hitting .350 with his first multi-home run game in Milwaukee.
With 1 out, ball 1. Who knew? Who knew that something like that was even available? But there it is.
So,
how is that possible?
Says World Series too.
What could that cost? What could the cost be for that little fan that has a light that spells out champions and all that? Wow. 1-0 pitch on the inside corner, a ball and a strike. I mean, I would
it's
think
about Trudy's allowance.
Well, then it's pretty cheap. I think there now that we've exposed that on basic cable, there's going to be a huge run on fans that spell out words. Boy, hours of fun. The 1-1. Down and in, 2-1.
Let alone the comfort.
I mean, the comfort that's on top of
you.
it. But the fact that you can remind yourself constantly that the Cardinals are champions with a $3 fan is progress. 2-1 from Baroni is chopped to the left of Ramirez, and the shortstop gobbles it up, gets the out, 2 away. Over to third is Encarnacion.
Joe, I think there are times this season we had to be reminded.
Yeah, though there's no doubt about that. Sports Ultimate Nightly Highlight Show is here. The FSN Final Score tonight. They've got extended highlights of the Yankees, Angels, Indians, Tigers. The rest of the day in baseball. It's the only national show that gives you nothing but wall-to-wall highlights. The FSN Final Score tonight, 10:30 on FSN, which is what you're watching as we speak. Here's Aaron Miles with the pitcher on deck, batting in the number 8 spot.
Don't worry about it. Miles is here. We're playing at home.
Overall hitting .294, but he's put together some unbelievable numbers here at home.
500 on the last homestand and batting .410 at home since May 22nd.
you're facing a typical lineup and you're the Marlins, you think, well, this is only the number 7 hitter. But remember, the pitcher's on deck. And that's foul. 1 ball, 1 strike, albeit a pitcher who swings the bat pretty well, and Adam Wainwright. Brendan Ryan in the number 9 spot.
Still do not buy into the thought that some teams forget that that is the pitcher on deck.
No, I don't either. I'm just pointing out.
No, I know, but I mean, Tony believes that. Not the managers, but the players forget that.
Miles pops it into right center field. Daza going back to his left. The inning is over. The guy certainly looks a lot like Adam Wainwright in the on-deck circle, and he'll go back out and pitch in the 3rd. Cardinals and Marlins, no score. This portion of Cardinal baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by Kia Motors. Kia, the power to surprise. By Rico, move your ideas with Rico dependability. And by the new chicken grilled taquitos from Taco Bell. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. 3rd inning, 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Marlins. And that means that Daza, Cabrera, and Willingham will be the hitters against Adam Wainwright.
Go Cardinal. Show the swing better. Come on. Swing better. Show him your swing. Come on, swing. Swing better.
I've had on cameras I look a lot like that. Beginning of broadcasts.
He's better at flashing signs.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about your debut in New York.
We could.
I mean, that was a day where
I was teething that day. I was teething, I was sweating, and I was about to melt before Cardinal fans' very eyes. While you
thought I sabotaged.
You did. You couldn't find your microphone.
No, that professional crew we were with hid the microphone down on the field.
Oh well, we'll save that for the rain delay. 0-1 is the count on Daza. Starting the 3rd inning here, and what was that? That was.
That's how
That's how Eddie Goodell would have hit had he been up there to swing. He walked forward and took a hack, and LaRussa's going to say he was
out of the batter's box. That's what they're going to contend. I used to watch Matty Alou practice that. You know, say like a runner would be on base and the shortstop would cover. Watch his feet. And it looks like he stays in the batter's box.
He's in. Yeah. Bruce was all over it.
He's out in front of the plate. You know, then he can be called out. Hank Aaron had a home run taken away from him. The Cardinals had a pitcher that he could not hit. Eventually, he just ran up in front of the plate, hit a ball out of the ballpark. Took the home run away from him. He said, I know it, but I just had to do it for myself.
And there's a home run if it's fair. Down the left field line. It is foul. A rocket off the bat of Miguel Cabrera. Strike 1.
Now, that is one thing Adam Wainwright really has done a very good job of only allowing 10 home runs on the season. And you can see clearly that it is a foul ball. And I'll make a prediction that he sets a career high in strikeouts tonight.
Well, this is the team that you would think would be the victims with their 1,000+ as a team leading the league. That's down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. First time up he walked. That was with 2 out, nobody on, and then after an error, another walk. A strikeout of Ugla on a 3-2 pitch. Cardinals have had only 1 base runner, a 1-out double by Encarnacion in the 2nd. Leadoff hit here by Daza, and there's a ground ball to Ryan. Good play, good turn, double play.
That was a nice play by Brendan Ryan. Backing up on the ball a little bit. We got a Sunday hop. Perfect peg over to his second baseman Aaron Miles and a return throw. That's the only defense a middle infielder has If you got a guy very aggressively sliding or coming on top of you, just drop down sidearm a little bit, and that'll make him hit the dirt or wear that stitching right between the eyes.
Here's Willingham, takes one over, but low, ball one. Josh hit a ball to third that Brendan Ryan picked brilliantly, but then threw into the dirt for an error his first time up. So 0 for 1. And this one is over the head of Ryan. Ankiel will cut it off, spin and throw. Wow. That's about a 98-mile-an-hour fastball on a hop, and a perfect strike to Aaron Miles, and the word will get out quickly that you don't run on Ankiel.
Well, and that's it. You just get the ball and get it back in. Now, for a guy that was a pitcher and had trouble throwing strikes, why does he have accuracy when he's playing the outfield and making throws? Very simple. He doesn't think about it. It's just reaction. When he was on the mound, he had to think about making a strike. Is when he, had the meltdown and had the location problems.
Breaking ball for a strike to Jacobs, who walked his first time up. That's still, and I certainly haven't been around as long as you have, Al, but that was still ranks as one of the toughest things to watch.
Well, and then we all watched it the first day against the Atlanta Braves, the first game of the playoffs. But I think we, and I'll just ask you, but I thought after he did it the first game that the next game it'd be fine. And
yeah.
In return.
Well, we saw shades of that. I was there every game.
Cincinnati.
That year. Cincinnati was a game where he was struggling with that. And to think of how much he has grown up on and off the field since those days. I mean, he's like a different guy. I mean, his body's chiseled. He looks like a different person. He looks in a uniform like a different guy altogether. And add to that, he's got married. He's matured off the field. He was just a kid back then. And boy, it is a great story and a great guy. And it is fun to watch. So good for him.
When he did in his first game, hitting that home run. Something that hadn't happened in 60 years for a first home run by a guy's major league career as a pitcher, and then to turn around and have his next one be as a, or years later come back and do it as a position player. That hadn't happened in 60 years. Only 12 on that list. One of them Babe Ruth.
Full count now on Jacobs with Ugla on deck as the Marlins trying to put another 2 out something together. They did in the first, didn't score, and they try and do it here in the third. 3-2 pitch is hit up the middle for a base hit. Willingham will go to third. First and third, 2 out. A bobble by Edmonds. They're going to bring the runner to the plate. Throw home by Pujols is too late. That is on Jim Edmonds in right center field. Dropped it, trying to get it out of his glove. Willingham wasn't hustling the entire way, but turned it on after he got to third and scores on the error.
He gets over here, it's going to be first and third, and there you saw the bobble. Then he elects to come home. So running on the pitch, so he gets to first and third. No RBI on the play. You see him kind of coast into third base. And he does that on his own as his third base coach was trying to hold him up at third.
Now Ugla with a runner at first, 2 out. 2 errors on the night, and there's Willingham, who, as you said,
Bo Porter, third base coach, trying to hold him at third base, and he decides to come home, and ball cut off by Pujols. He makes a throw home, and the third error by Jim Edmonds, the 8-time Gold Glover.
So now Molina goes out to try and settle Wainwright. 3 hits in the inning, a double play mixed in. And Ugla, who was the strikeout victim his first time with the bases loaded, waits on a 1-0 pitch. On the outside corner, a ball and a strike.
Wainwright's last 3 starts coming into here, he had only allowed 2 runs And they both came in the 9th inning of a 0-0 game on the 2-run home run by Looney. And that covered 3 starts.
That's hammered down into left field, and Ankiel can't get to it until it bounces. Makes a good play, and the word is already out. Jacobs, I think against 90% of other left fielders, is standing at third base, and they've seen enough already to not run on Ankiel.
Looked like he came in a little too shallow, but he recorrected and stopped that ball. You see him go back on it, gets a one-hopper, sets himself and throws. Time he didn't rear back and just throw it, but you know, he got it back in quick enough to hold the runner at second base.
So first and second, 2 out. That's 4 hits in the inning, and the batter is Hermida. Jeremy struck out leading off the second his first time. Breaking ball for a strike. There the runners on. The Marlins have hit the scoreboard first tonight. Down and in. Hermida, 1 ball, 1 strike. Pretty good game between the Mets and Padres, with New York leading 4-3 in the 7th. A little flare into left field, and there's Ankiel waiting for it. The inning is over. So after all that, 1 run on 4 hits and an error, 2 left, and the Marlins have stranded 6. 1-0 Florida after 2.5. Best damn sports show period is the greatest nightly sports show on television. Chris Rose, John Sally, Rob Dibble, Rodney Peete. Tonight, the Hooters swimsuit pageant. Talked to Chris Rose this past week in New York. They hated every second of putting those shows together. That's tonight at 11 on FSN Midwest.
What do you say about when Scott Rowland makes a quote?
Sometimes I'm not too sure if he's saying it sarcastically or seriously.
How about Chris Rose?
I know in that case it was sarcastic. Here's a pitch low from Baroni. 2-0 on Wainwright, batting in the number 8 spot. On deck is Ryan the next time. Adam can hit baseball. He can hit a golf ball, and he is 1 for 1 tonight. Rounded first hard, man. He was busting it down the line, and he is on to start the 3rd inning.
He wants his 12th victory.
That's about as hard as a pitcher can run down the first baseline and try and draw a throw. So Adam is on, and Brendan Ryan will walk to the plate, and this guy, along with Rick Ankiel, they have given the Cardinals a shot of life. This team is a lot more fun to watch because of guys like Brendan Ryan and Rick Ankiel.
I'll throw Ludwick in there too.
Absolutely. In the lineup and off the bench.
Yeah, it's one of the nice things about youth. They interject a little energy and a little life. Everything's kind of a new experience for him. Teammates kind of feed off that. Brendan hitting .356 when he starts, and now because of the way he's batting, he's staying in that lineup almost daily. But you just don't know whether it's going to be at short, second, or now third.
A little round robin thing going between those spots, and that's over the head of the third baseman Cabrera. Wainwright will tiptoe over to third base, and it's a double for Brendan Ryan. He just keeps hitting, adding to that .337 average.
Well, Brendan said he's got a stone bruise in his hand, and he says, you know, I'm afraid to swing wildly, so he's swinging at strikes. Pitch up, and just put it in play, bounces right in front of him. Boy, you could tell Oquendo right away knew this ball was going to get over Cabrera's head, and he was telling Wainwright right from the get-go, Come on over to third. Come on over.
One thing the Cardinals have done well recently is answer when another team does something to damage their chances. The Marlins got a run in the top of this third inning. The Cardinals trying to come right back. Eckstein flips one into center, and that's out number one. Wainwright's going to hold, and he has to. He took a step down the line and then had to get back to the bag and had no chance anyway. One out. And Ankiel will be the hitter.
Remember, you got a pitcher in front of you. The line drive. So Kendo is sitting there. He's telling both of them. He's really, the hand signal there was really out for Brendan Ryan at second base because he can verbally tell Wainwright. We saw a miscommunication recently where Oquendo was trying to tell the runner at second base, and the runner at first base was mistranslating, and a run did not score. But in that situation, I think they got it clarified.
See how selective Ankiel's going to be here. First base is open, but one of the best in the business, Pujols on deck, should get something to hammer. Second and third, one out. Faced it a little bit, strike one.
Remember when Chris Duncan first came to the club, they put him in that number 2 hole right in front of Albert Pujols, and it should work to the advantage of Ankiel too. But the one thing about Ankiel, he can handle the breaking ball a lot better than Chris Duncan. 3 of his 4 home runs have been hit off the curveball.
1-1 pitch. Just inside. Pretty good pitch from Baroni.
Baroni, when he was in the minor leagues, they said he really spotted his pitches much more effectively and hasn't had the command on both sides of the plate here at the big league level.
Ties up Ankiel, up and in, 2-2.
Miles an hour, but it's the location, and you see that little late movement. Throwing the ball up, left-hand hitter. Most of them are low ball hitters.
I really think, just from watching on TV, you've seen it more in person. That's one of those adjustments Ankiel's going to have to make, and a pitch that he's going to have to watch out for. That up delivery, up and in especially, but he has a tendency to go after it.
Yeah, and you saw a trainer, the catcher was signaling to get the ball up. So this is a breaking ball, so he's saying put it down.
And Rick hooks it foul. Seven RBIs for Rick Ankiel. And he tried to lay off. He did. It's a full count. There's that pitch again.
Breaking balls down, fastballs up.
Hit by Wainwright, double by Ryan. Eckstein flied out. Ankiel walks, and the bases are loaded for Albert. Pujols robbed of a hit his first time up when Hanley Ramirez went into the hole to corral a shot to his right. He's the Marlins shortstop. Wainwright, Ryan, and Ankiel the runners, one out. Ball one, not close. Cardinals trying to take the lead. They trail 1-0 here in the third inning, and that's going to be a tough play. Can they turn it? They do. A high hop. Ramirez got to it. Pujols spins and throws his helmet in frustration. 6-4-3, and after all that, still 1-0 Florida. Tomorrow and Thursday, tune in as the Cardinals and Marlins battle on FSN Midwest. It'll be presented in high definition. With the razor sharp clarity of HD, you'll feel like you're at the game. Check with your local cable or satellite provider for more information. An HD channel number. Catch the Cardinals in HD on FSN Midwest. See those shoes in HD. But that being said, still tune in tomorrow and Thursday. Who's first up, you ask? Matt Trainer is the answer. He's the catcher for the Marlins. Baroni the pitcher on deck, then Ramirez. Fourth inning now, still 1-0. Florida on top. Strike one.
Adam has allowed 6 hits, 4 of them last inning, but they only got 1 run because of a double play. Stranded, the bases loaded. Excuse me, 2 men on.
That's off the end of the bat. Out is Miles, in is Edmonds, and Jim makes the catch basket style, 1 out. He is about the only center fielder in baseball that makes that play at least that easily, because he is right behind the infield.
And at times the Cardinal coaches want him to play deeper, but he said, hey, I can take too many hits away like that one. And he is so good at going back on balls.
Strike one to Baroni, the pitcher. Daniel is batting in the traditional number 9 spot for the Marlins, and he's in the hole 0-2.
Since there's only 9 spots in the order, it looks like that's probably the best choice for him.
That would be the best choice of where you would put his bat, as he's getting looks at pitches. Struck out his first time for a while trying to bunt in that at bat, trying to hit against Adam Wainwright, and he is 0 for 2. That's strikeout number 6. 2 out. Hanley Ramirez will dig in. Come celebrate with music, fun, and ice cream with your family every Sunday home game during the North Star Magic House Ice Cream Sundays. This Sunday, come down early. Enjoy tasty North Star frozen treats and Magic House activities located in the Ford Plaza. Gates open 2 hours before game time when the Cardinals take on the Atlanta Braves. Strike one to Hanley Ramirez, who's 1 for 2. A 1 pitch. He fooled him again. 0-2.
Breaking pitch is starting to come around now that he's worn himself down a little bit.
The 0-2 pitch. Ramirez fouls it off his left leg. Hanley singles out, stealing his first time up. Struck out in the second. Trying to get on ahead of De Aza, the center fielder. And he lays off that one down and away. Cardinals in their half of this fourth will have Edmonds, Encarnacion, and Molina. Here's a 1-2. 2-2. Other games have not started. Milwaukee and Arizona. The red hot first place Arizona Diamondbacks having a great year under Bob Melvin, and the Cubs and Giants. Chicago deals with Barry Bonds, and the rest of that San Francisco team. Hard hit right at Eckstein. We go to the bottom of the fourth. After the Marlins went 1-2-3. Edmonds, Encarnacion, Molina coming up. 1-0. Florida on top. Attention high school students and guidance counselors. The Cardinals are hosting the 3rd annual Career Day Thursday, September 6th against Pittsburgh. Prior to the game, there'll be a program featuring Cardinals executives and front office personnel giving tips and details on careers in sports. Call the Cardinals at 314-345-9500 for ticket information. If I were to speak that day about a great way to get into broadcasting, I would start with have a famous father. And then you go from there. 1-0 pitch is fouled out of play off to the left off the bat of Jim Edmonds. 1 ball, 1 strike. Like our director Tom Mee and his famous dad up in Minnesota. Nepotism is great as long as you keep it in the family. That's what I have always said and firmly believe. 2 balls and a strike on Edmonds. His error led to the only run of the night. Although it does not go down in the category of an unearned run because hits followed it. It was only allowing a runner to advance a base. There's a base hit. Nice start to the inning. The Cardinals put their first 2 on, had second and third, nobody out last inning and did not score. And Edmonds will start this one with a base hit to right.
There will be scoring and more scoring in this game. It will not end 1-0 Florida.
What the heck was that?
It's a new show. Other than that,
talk about coming out of nowhere.
Take a guess.
Encarnacion flares one into center. That might fall. Diaz is there. Nice catch. Well, he's got a ton of speed. 1 on, 1 out.
Plays deeper, but because of that speed, he was able to come in on the ball and make the catch.
How come we don't get that effect on the television?
There it is. There it is. Turn around, young lady.
Infinite images of these two on the television screen behind them.
Now they see it.
Why does that happen? 1 on, 1 out. Yadier Molina at the plate. Strike 1.
Molina has hit almost 360 in his last 21 games with an at-bat.
The 0-1. There's another hit. Cardinals put their first 2 on here in the 4th inning. Encarnacion made the out in the middle. 2 singles in the frame, first and second, 1 out. And the batter will be Aaron Miles. Good piece of hitting here.
His hands to shoot that ball the right side.
Aaron Miles digs in. 2 on, 1 out. Aaron fly to center his first time up. Miles with 22 RBIs takes a ball. Cardinals trying to catch up, at least in the hit category. There you go on the top of your screen. 6 hits for the Marlins, 5 for the Cardinals, and the Cards have the only 2 errors of the game. The Marlins, as we said earlier, come into this game last in the league in fielding percentage. Could be another double play. 6-4-3. Cardinals hit into one last inning, hit into one to end the 4th. 5th inning rolls in. 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for the Marlins, who lead 1-0.
Win a Samsung video sharing phone, a VIP tour of the ballpark, and watch a game from the green seats. It's the last shot of summer sweepstakes in stores at participating AT&T retail stores.
Marlins have stranded 6. Cardinals have left 4 and hit into 2 double plays. So a lot of missed opportunities on both sides so far tonight. Only run belongs to the Marlins, and it was a run scoring on an error, even though 2 hits followed. A fielding error by Edmonds out in right center field. And there's the managerial matchup in this series. Freddie Gonzalez and Tony La Russa. La Russa and his team now just 3 games under 500, but only 3 games out of first place. That's the division in which they live. So can't fault them for that. They're treading water, trying to get to 500 and trying to get to the top of the division. That's to Ryan, and that's out number 1. Good play. Piazza the last time jumped up in the batter's box and singled into center. This time he makes it out. The Aflac trivia question is this: who was the last Cardinal pitcher to hit a grand slam? I think I know. I know. Donovan. I didn't.
Merker.
Know. I was wrong. I was going to say Donovan Osborne, who, now that I think about it, might not have been the guy that hit it at the time I thought he did. And it just sounded like Yogi Berra.
I think he did.
I think he did too, but Merker was the last to do it, which was the question and the only pertinent information that needed to be.
You know what? I think Donovan Osborne is pitching for Dave LaPointe.
That
the
independent
Long Island Ducks, when they made a little news with Jose Offerman.
Yeah, not the kind of news you want going after a pitcher with a bat. The 1-1 pitch is high. 2-1 on Miguel Cabrera, who narrowly missed a home run his last time up, hitting one foul down the left field line and then bounced into a double play. He's 0 for 1. Three and 1. That Long Island Ducks team is a who's who of stars from the late 90s. Three 3-1 pitch with 1 out. Ripped into left field, might carry out. It is gone. 2-0 for Miguel Cabrera. He hits home run number 30. And now has 3 seasons with 30 or more home runs in his big league career. And at some point he'll make it around the bases and it'll be officially 2-0. Not there yet. Still coming. Come on, Miguel. Now it's 2-0.
It was more of a struggle to get around the bases than it was to swing the bat. And no doubt about it, is got a little bit of a slider. Stays too much in the middle of the plate, drops that bat head. And boy, look at the follow through.
That was pasted
off the back wall of the bullpen.
Here's one in the air to left center field. Willingham got under it, and Ankiel hauls it in, 2 out. So the Marlins double there. Well, he's bouncing around now. Okay. Couldn't make it around the bases in under 28 seconds, but he's jumping around the dugout. They double their lead here in the 5th inning.
He's still a really young kid, too. He's about 24.
With the bases empty, Jacobs 1 for 1 with a single and a walk, leans back from ball 1 high. Pitch count up to 83. To you by Sonic as we play here in the 5th inning. 2-0 on Jacobs.
Cabrera is 23. Nearly 5 years of major league service.
Pretty good pitch, missed the inside corner. 3-0. Ground out, a homer, a fly out. And Jacobs waits for a 3-0 pitch. And it's a strike over the outside corner. Mike has hit 11 and he'll look for a pitch to smoke here as we play in the 5th. The Cardinals will have Wainwright, Ryan, and Eckstein. Anybody gets on Ankiel in the bottom of this inning. 3-1. Big swing, full count.
Yeah, big swing, and Jacobs earlier set a franchise record. He was 0 for 33. Most ever Florida Marlin without a hit. But he's been on a little bit of a tear. 15 for 38. 3 home runs and 6 RBIs since going on that 0 for 33.
Just unloading on these pitches that are up. Talking to himself with the count staying full 3-2.
Get the ball down, and then boom.
Hitting .263. He waits for a 3-2. And same result. Adam Wainwright trying to get through 5 and trying to keep his pitch count under 90 through the 5 innings. It shouldn't expect Adam Wainwright to go the distance here tonight. So after a long day for the Cardinal bullpen yesterday at Wrigley, they're going to have to go back to work again tonight. And of course, the rain delays and the weather didn't help.
You had Izzy with a 2-out save. You had Franklin going inning and 2/3. And a full inning after an hour and 27-minute rain delay.
Well, that battle was won by Wainwright, but in the inning, a long home run off the bat of Miguel Cabrera makes it 2-0. Florida on top. Number 30 on the year for the Marlins third baseman. 2-zip halfway through it. First of 3 with the Marlins. What's on Tap is brought to you by Bud Light. What's on Tap, the Cardinals and Marlins tomorrow in high def on the air at 6 o'clock on FSN Midwest. 2-0 now. Florida after the home run by Cabrera, and the Cardinals, who have had their chances, have to get to work. Wainwright, Ryan, and Eckstein for the Cardinals, who come into this game 5th in the National League in hitting. However, up the street in the pitching department, 11th best team ERA, and that's been getting better because the starting rotation has started to put things together here recently. The count's 3-0 on Adam Wainwright, who singled his first time.
Maroney has only pitched 8 2/3 in his first 2 starts. So here pitching in the 5th. Crowd did not like that strike call.
3-1. There's ball 4, a leadoff walk, and the Cardinals have yet another opportunity. They put their first 2 on in the 3rd, put 2 of the first 3 on in the 4th, but double plays have snuffed out each rally. Here's Brendan Ryan. Brendan doubled with a chopper over the head of Cabrera at 3rd, his first time up.
Likes to bunt an awful lot, so third baseman a lot of times will have to play in just a little bit.
Good pitch down and away. Ryan missed it. Strike 1. Brendan, his average .345 for a guy that got a lot of action during spring training. Hitting the 270s at AAA because of injury, got his chance, and boy, you talk about a guy who's made the most of it. He hasn't done really anything wrong since the Cardinals called him up. That's off the end of the bat, almost picked off his competition at short with that ball eluding the body of David Eckstein. 0-2. Went right at him.
Got that habit where he licks his shoulder.
Laid off ball one.
I think it started trying to tell him to keep the front shoulder in, but now it's become, whether he's on the base paths or field, he always will just constantly licking that front shoulder.
In a suit, at the pool, whatever. Sticks the bat out, pops up, out number one. 1-on, 1 out, back to the top of the order, David Eckstein, who's 0 for 2. Such an odd swing. Warming up for David Eckstein, a swing that he would never take, but exaggerating that downward action of the bat. That is a reminder that he's telling himself to swing down and don't try and elevate it.
Yeah. You know, at some point somebody said, you know, we'll play that dollar game. I'll pay you $2 every time you hit the ball on the ground, and you pay me $1 every time you hit it in the air. Little guy, no power, so you better hit the ball on the ground.
Going to play behind Wainwright over at first. And Adam Wainwright takes off, hit and run, and that's out number 2 and out number 3 at first.
Oh.
Ugla was led right to the bag.
I don't think he was on it when he caught it, though.
It's a 4-3 double play. 3 innings in a row. The inning has ended with a twin killing, and let's see. I thought he had it. Close. It's a 4-3 twin killing. 2-0 after 5. This portion of Cardinal Baseball on FSN Midwest brought to you by Jack in the Box. Try the new sirloin burger, 100% sirloin. Your choice of cheese and onions, only at Jack in the Box. By your local St. Louis Chrysler Jeep dealers. And by U.S. Cellular, we connect with you. The new look of Washington Avenue in downtown St. Louis. Fun spot to hit if you're looking for a place to dine, and not too far away is Busch Stadium, where Adam Wainwright's doing his part. 2 runs on 7 hits as he works into the 6th inning, but the offense has been shut down by Michael Baroni. It will be for Wainwright, Ugla, Hermida, and Trainer. If anybody gets on Daniel Baroni, I said Michael. Daniel, who has pitched very well, and he's been helped out by 3 double plays turned behind him. Here's a 1-0 to Ugla, who is singled and struck out. He pops up. Long run, Eckstein, Ryan, and it's Brendan Ryan. 1 out. Here are those killer double plays turned against the Cardinals tonight with scoring chances. Pujols the first one with the bases loaded. Next one, Aaron Miles with 2 on, and the latest one, 4-3 off the bat of Eckstein. That does mean that Ankiel, Pujols, and Edmonds will bat in the bottom of the 6th. With Hermida digging in, 1 out, nobody on. Strike 1. Jeremy is 0 for 2.
Let's hope that Wainwright can have an efficient inning. Keep his pitch count under 100 through 6.
0-2.
I'm sure Adam would lobby for another inning beyond that.
They are starting to move around down in the bullpen. Ball 1.
96 pitches thrown right now.
One-two pitch is lined into left field, a base hit. Ankiel will get to it, flip it back in, and it's 1 on, 1 out. Matt Trainer will be the hitter. Immediately following the game, stay tuned for Cardinals Live, the post-game show completely dedicated to your team. Our reporters take you inside the clubhouse for player interviews and in-depth analysis. For complete Cardinals post-game coverage, stay tuned to Cardinals Live after every game on FSN Midwest.
Springer now throwing in the Cardinal bullpen.
Trainer takes a ball up and away, ball 1. Matt Trainor's wife, Misty May, a gold medal winning beach volleyball player.
He's kind of the backup catcher, but getting a lot more playing time right now because Olivo left the game recently with a leg injury. And you see Russ.
Check on Hermida. It's Trainer now. It is the pitcher Baroni on deck. The 1-0. 2-0. Again, the big bats are coming up for the Cards in the bottom of this inning, so important to keep this thing a 2-0 game. Wainwright making a bid for his 12th win here tonight. He's 11-9. ERA is dropping with every start. There's another base hit. 2 on with 1 away. And that will give Baroni a chance to attempt a bunt to move the runners along.
And Wainwright right now, you'd feel like you'd be majorly disappointed if you let him make contact.
Well, we've seen him already swing and miss a lot, and beyond that, not look very good trying to get down a bunt. So that should be the plan here. Instead, they swing away.
Well, defensively, the Cardinals are trying to get the lead runner thrown out at third base. Very aggressive, as look where Albert is here. You'll see that Ryan will play back a little bit, but look at where David Eckstein, look how close he is to third base if he needs to get there. Then you have second base. Second base, they're trying to hold the runner on. Aaron Miles will almost be standing at the second base bag, so the runner at second can't get any kind of lead. Eckstein can get over to third very quickly. The attempt will be to bunt the ball hard enough to get by the pitcher and make the third baseman have to come in and field it. But that's why the shortstop is playing where he is, so he can get to third ahead of the runner.
Bunts in the air and foul for strike 2. Tony La Russa is going through the growing pains with a guy who's not used to third base over there. He has been giving the signals to Brendan Ryan, who's then relaying them to the rest of the infielders, and after that getting his position from Tony La Russa, how close in he should play.
Third baseman usually sets the defense on bunt plays.
The pitch gets away from Wainwright.
Those breaking balls that kind of cast it out over the head of a hitter. Why not just throw a fastball up and get him to pop it up, swing through it, pop it up, and the bunt attempt. Foul ball, strike 3.
Now the 2-2. And the bunt to Pujols. Bare hand for 1 over to first. No throw, and it's 2 out in the inning. Pujols is as aggressive and does that better than any right-handed throwing first baseman in the league.
Well, you see where Pujols really right in here, so he's so close. But look at where David Eckstein, how close he is. So very aggressively takes it right out of the hands of Wainwright. He's got his momentum towards third. David's sitting right there, the shortstop. So a very, very simple play to get the lead runner with the perfect defense, bunt defense.
So now Molina goes out to talk, and here is a very important at bat by the league's leading hitter, Hanley Ramirez, who's 1 for 3 tonight. He singled in the first, struck out in the second, grounded out in the fourth. And he could rescue this inning for the Marlins, or Wainwright could get him and keep it a 2-run game. Cardinal fans, bring your new and gently used baseball equipment to donate for area youth on Friday, August 24th against Atlanta. That's this Friday. Look for the collection sites outside of each gate at Busch Stadium. That's this Friday. New and barely used baseball equipment for youth in our area. Ramirez, strike one, tried to hold up, couldn't.
There's at 336, 1 for 3 on the night. But 23 home runs, 64 RBIs, 39 steals on the season. He is an offensive weapon.
2 hits in the inning, Hermida and Trainer. The runners, Trainer, and the pitcher Baroni. A 1 pitch. When he has kept it away, down and away from Ramirez, he's had Hanley chasing, and the count's 0-2.
107 pitches, and you can see he just averages just under 99 pitches. Usually pitches 6 or averages 6 1/3 in his 24 starts.
Got him on the outside corner with a curveball, and the inning is over, and Ramirez didn't like the call. So 6 innings in the books from Adam Wainwright, 2 runs on 9 hits. And the Marlins have now stranded 8. 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up to Zip, Florida. This October, Fox Sports is once again your home for America's grand old game. The most dramatic, compelling, and heartbreaking moments in sports. Join us as history is made and legends are born when the World Series begins this October in high definition, only on Fox. 2-0 the Marlins lead. The Cardinals will have the big bats here of Ankiel, Pujols, and Edmonds. Encarnacion due up 4th. This big crowd has seen an entertaining game. Base runners all over the place. 14 hits, a couple of errors. 12 runners stranded, but a 2-0 lead for the Marlins in this first of a 3-game set. And Ankiel will try and get something going here in the 6th. He's first up. Cardinals put the leadoff man on in each of the last 3 innings, but every inning has ended in a double play.
Best chance was Wainwright's got a base hit, then Ryan hit a double, and Albert came up with the bases loaded and only 1 out and hit into a double play.
Ankiel, hitless on the night, takes the ball. Rick has bounced out and walked. And already Trainer wants to go out and talk to the right-hander with that first pitch that bounced in.
He went 4 2/3 in his first start and 4 innings in his second start. So here pitching in the 6th. A bit of surprise. So I'm sure they'll keep a close eye on it.
Ankiel checks his swing. It's 2-0. Good rip. Pitch to hit. He fouled it back. 2-1.
Changeup's a pretty good pitch for this young man with a left-hander up there.
3-1. Albert on deck, and another good swing by Ankiel. Full count. How's this inning going to start? With a pop-up. Went after that pitch up, and Ramirez out to make the play. 1 down. Batter will be Albert Pujols, who tonight is grounded out to short twice. Once with the bases loaded and 1 out into a double play. 3 straight games with a long ball and 28 on the year. 80 RBIs. Over but low, ball 1.
Home runs in 4 of his last 5 games, and he's had an RBI in 5 straight games.
Cardinals have 40 games left after tonight. Game number 122 here this evening. Cardinals have certainly made it interesting.
Tony had quite a while been 3rd on the all-time win list, but now he's 3rd on the all-time managerial list.
That's hammered down the line, and there's another one for Albert. 4 straight games with a home run. It's 2-1.
11 of Albert's last 13 home runs have been solo shots, and 11 of his last 13 have come on the road. Second in road batting average, but here he gets one here at home, and it's just a laser shot right off the, what's a Casino Queen party porch sign.
Can't hit it any harder than that.
And I'm sure the bullpen is active in the Marlins bullpen as their pitching coach will come out here. Let's take a look at the location. Set up away, and that ball just kind of stayed down middle half of the plate, and Albert didn't miss it. He crushed it.
So the lead has been cut into by the Cardinals. Now it's Edmonds, Encarnacion next. Only 77 pitches for this right-hander, while Wainwright is up around the 110 mark. A little excuse me base hit into center on half a swing by Edmonds, and the tying run is on.
Another multi-hit game for Jim. Good to see that after 0 for his last 14. And he's 2 for 3 on the night. Kind of lean back, loads up on the backside, then tried to stop the swing and got the bat out in fair territory and got rewarded for it. Lee Garner, a right-hander, is warming up. And all the injuries, they got a lot of young kids in their bullpen on top of some of the ones in their rotation.
Check on Edmonds at first. He's the tying run, 1 out. Encarnacion at the plate. Juan 1 for 2. Floated a double down the left field line his first time.
See, we still can't get Adam his 12th victory. He's the pitcher of record. Maybe we can get him off the hook and get him a lead.
That's off the end of the bat as it hit hard enough. It is not. Willingham makes the play. 2 out. The batter will be Yadier Molina. Looked good, but Encarnacion just didn't get it all. Yadi is 1 for 2. Base hit through the right side. His average 276. After a year in which he hit in the low 200s, and that's going to be all for Roney, the right-hander. So Gardner has been getting ready in a hurry, and Gonzalez is going to go right to him. Baroni did a nice job tonight for the Marlins, and Gardner is going to come in with Molina coming up. Home run by Albert in the inning. It's a 2-1 game. Marlins leading in the Cardinals with 1 on 2 out for Molina when we come back.
Introducing the Cadillac Summer Event. Right now at your Cadillac dealer, you can experience the best Cadillac has to offer. Attractive offers across all models. The best part about summer? It's here.
Visit your local Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer. Residency restrictions apply.
Ode to the Subway Club. Roast beef, ham, turkey. A big meaty sub is plotting a course through hungry seas. And your appetite just showed up on sonar. Boom. Subway. Eat fresh.
No matter what the weather, nothing beats the thrill of the grill. And Schnucks has what it takes to fire up some fun. Like the best cuts of meat, succulent seafood, and mouth-watering fresh, crisp veggies. Plus, Schnucks has savory spices and sauces to enhance your favorite flavors. All the necessary grilling tools and countless delicious dishes that are ready to serve on the side.
At Schnucks, we make it easy.
Get back to school with Fire Dog only at Circuit City. No matter where you bought your PC, bring it in today for a free checkup of $40 value. The experts at Fire Dog will scan for viruses and optimize your system for faster performance. See Fire Dog today only at Circuit City.
It's about diamonds, it's about gold, and it's all about the Cardinals. It's the brand new 2007 Cardinals yearbook featuring 168 pages packed with a fascinating history of the jewelry and trophies won by one of baseball's best teams, along with action photos and studio portraits of all the 2007 Cardinals. Order your copy by calling 314-345-9000. Lee Gardner will take over, 45th game of the year, and he is handed a 2-1 lead, 1 on, 2 out in the 6th.
He started the season, his first ever on the opening day roster. Spent some time down at AAA. Last pitched on Sunday, and he took the loss as he allowed 3 runs. They were all unearned on 1 hit. And pitch. Hey, right-handed batters are batting 198 against him. Lefties are batting 297. He's kind of been their long man, and he's got a 3-4 record. Good ERA of 2.36, 1 save. This is his 45th game.
Like Yadier was trying to go to right again as he did his last time up through the hole for a base hit. I mentioned his average 276. This has indeed been a solid year with the bat for Yadier Molina.
Forget he missed 26 games with that left wrist fracture.
Late on that swing, it's 0-2.
Gardner's kind of been a career minor leaguer. Did pitch a little bit with Tampa Bay. Last year he was with the San Francisco, or no, he was with Detroit. Last year he was with San Francisco a couple years ago.
Here comes Chevrolet calling the bullpen, and the first one out of there tonight for the Cardinals is Russ Springer in a 2-1 game, 7th inning.
He's been very good with his 5 victories and 6 decisions. He's had opponents to a 199 average. His Cardinals are trailing 2-1 here. They've had their chances, but they've hit into 3 double plays. Albert Pujols hit into one of those 3 with the bases loaded. But he got, last time up, he hit his 30th home, his 29th home run. Make it a 2-1 game. So battle the bullpens now.
The 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Marlins. Cardinals in the bottom of the 7th will have Miles in the pitcher's spot. And then Ryan. Up and in, ball 1 to De Aza, who's been, that didn't surprise me from Springer. Last 2 at bats that De Aza's had, he's jumped forward in the batter's box. He singled to center, tried to bunt his way on, and Springer was saying, well, you want to jump ahead?
Yeah, walk into
Come
this
on
one.
in. Russ Springer is not scared.
Nope.
And a couple of years ago, showed everybody just that when he threw at Barry Bonds at least 3 pitches in a row and finally hit him. But he uses the phrase old school a lot. He certainly fits the description. The 1-1 pitch. A little flare into left center field. De Aza is on, and that's the way the 7th inning begins with a base hit. He's 2 out of 4. And on his hands, fought it off, got a base hit. Same type top of the order hitter as Juan Pierre was starring for the 2003 World Series champs. And now it's 1 on, nobody out for Cabrera, who hit a long home run his last time up, his 30th of the season.
Sean Bales, who's celebrating a birthday, would sure like to see you double play right here. Happy birthday, Sean.
Last time up. Yow.
No doubt about it.
Crushed.
That was his 30th home run.
And he is the opposite of Scott Rowland, rounding the bases after a home run. Rowland could go around twice, maybe 2.5 times.
How about a happy 86th birthday for Doris Zimmerman. She wants to see the Cardinals win this game. She was disappointed that Wainwright won't get the win, but Cardinal victory would be just fine.
0-1 pitch is fouled off to the right, strike 2. It is almost redundant these days to say it's a nice crowd here in St. Louis. It is that way night after night after night.
Boy, tickets are getting scarce, so if you want them, you know,
Prime Seat Club is your way to get them.
yeah, the Prime Seat Club is available 24 hours or stlcardinals.com. Always go to your Schnuck store too.
De Aza with a leadoff base hit, takes his lead at first, held by Pujols, and a 1-2 to Cabrera. What a stop by Molina. That was a stab in the dark, and he found the right spot.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, we just praise the Cardinal catchers for their ability to block balls in dirt, and there's other times you don't have time. The ball's so far off to the side that you don't have time to make that weight shift, and Molina made a nice stop there. And I forgot to do something last Friday is to see Tyler Johnson. Seeing Molina do that. Dave Ricketts and his wife Barbara celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary Friday, and I forgot to say happy anniversary, but you know Dave, and
yeah, I'm glad you
all the
waited
years.
till tonight. Happy anniversary.
That's
to Dave
right.
and Barbara.
And Candy did her part, Dave and Barbara, but Al didn't.
What a great guy, and what a valuable asset he's always been to the Cardinal organization, teaching the catchers how to play this game.
He was the bullpen catcher when my days playing with St. Louis.
Breaking ball is a pretty good pitch, called ball 3, full count. After Cabrera, it's Willingham. Jacobs will follow. That's why Johnson is getting ready for the Cards in their pen. Here's a 3-2 pitch. That's out of play. Cubs in San Francisco just getting underway.
Milwaukee has an early 1-0 lead. The Diamondbacks batting in the bottom of the second. Well, we need to win this one.
Another 3-2 pitch from Russ Springer instead of check on De Aza. Three-two, struck him out on a pitch down and away. Cabrera was looking for the fastball, and he was tricked on this one out of the hand of Russ Springer.
Tight slider, and it's out of the strike zone. You see Cabrera mad at himself, but it's part of the art of pitching.
By the way, 6 innings for Adam Wainwright, 2 runs on 9 hits.
He did not set a new Cardinal or a new career high in strikeouts.
Did strike out 7.
He struck out 8 his last start for that new career high.
Here is Willingham, and there is ball 1. Josh tonight has singled, reached on an error, scored a run. He's also flied out, sitting on 19 home runs. And when Willingham hits that 1 home run, become the 4th Marlins player with 20 or more on the season. 1 ball, 1 strike. This, in all likelihood, is the last hitter for Russ Springer. The left-handed hitting Jacobs on deck and Tyler Johnson in the bullpen.
Tyler hadn't pitched since last Wednesday, trying to fight his way back from the disabled list.
There's strike 2 on Willingham.
Russ has been a very valuable strikeout pitcher coming out of that bullpen.
Springer gets his sign from Molina. 1-2 pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts, 1 on, 2 out. We'll see if La Russa is going to leave him in to face Jacobs or make the lefty on lefty move.
And after that pitch out of the strike zone again. Only doesn't appear that he's going to make a change, or is he? Kind of has a look about him, but hadn't taken the glasses off.
He walked over to Dave Duncan and looked at numbers. Had a brief conversation, and Springer, with the back-to-back strikeouts, will stay in. So Tyler Johnson will stop throwing in the bullpen and watch. Runner goes, and a fly ball down the right field line. Encarnacion gives chase. He's there, and he has it in foul territory to end the inning. So Springer gives up the leadoff hit, but nothing more. Marlins have left 9 and lead it by 1.
Roy Coleman is today's merchandise winner in the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run in the 7th, Roy Coleman qualifies for the Hyundai Sonata drawing in September. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer. Well, Aaron Miles is going to hit here against Lee Garner. He got the final out of the 6th inning. He got Molina to hit the ball center field. Then you saw Ludwick going to pinch hit for Springer, who did a nice job getting through his first inning of work. Jason Wood now playing first base.
Tailing pitch for a strike to Aaron Miles. It'll be Miles, then the pinch hitter extraordinaire Ludwick, and then Brendan Ryan. That is just inside. A ball and a strike from Gardner. Defensively, they are dead straight away and pinched in on the corners of the infield in case Miles tries to drop one down.
Jason Wood over first base is an interesting story, Joe.
2-1.
First baseman here played in 1,785 minor league games, more than any active player as of opening day.
Two and two on Aaron. The guy on deck, Ryan Ludwick, off the bench. He's 10 out of 30 with 3 pinch hit home runs.
Well, he has 8 game-winning RBIs for a part-time player.
Miles trying to get on in front of him. What a good play by Ramirez to his left. That ball hit off the mound and Ramirez stayed with it. 1 out.
He got a nice little hop right into his glove. So watch this ball come up right there. So it's just spin, set himself, and make the throw.
What a good play by Ramirez with his 19 errors. He's made a couple of good plays here tonight. The batter will be Ludwick, batting for Springer, who pitched a scoreless inning, allowing 1 hit, striking out 2.
It's a party to an interesting discussion between Ludwick and Hal McRae. Ludwick a little frustrated that he's a .245 hitter, and Hal McRae was trying to make the point. He said, look, I would rather have you be a .245 hitter with 8 game-winning RBIs, 3 pinch hit home runs, 10 home runs, 3rd on the team, and the RBIs you have 35, than you hitting 320 with half that many home runs and half the RBIs.
He's come up with some big hits.
And I think you can help the ball club more in this role of, you know, sacrificing average for production.
10 homers overall, 3 off the bench to make it 4 and tie the game.
He was out taking early hitting with Chris Duncan, really struggling right now, and difference of a young player guessing and a player reacting.
Not close. 2-1. Rowland is on the bench tonight, getting some rest for the shoulder. 2-1 pitch. Ludwick pops it up. Got under it. Shallow left center, and Diaza comes in. The center fielder has it. 2 out. Brendan Ryan will be the hitter. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. What does Brendan Ryan have up his sleeve? He's hit 4 home runs in the big leagues.
Just hit the ball hard and you take your chances. 1 for 2 on the day. Percival looks like he'll come in and pitch the 8th inning.
Ball 1. Mets ended up coming from behind in the 9th inning to beat San Diego 7-6. The Braves blew a lead and they lost, so they're 6 out. That's on the outside corner.
Cincinnati playing a little better now.
Yeah, they are. Pete McCannon's done a nice job as the interim manager there with the Reds. Atlanta's only at the start of the night a game back, however, in the wild card race. Philly's a game back. San Diego leads there, so they'll stay a game back. Cabrera is right at the bag at 3rd.
Doesn't make much sense.
No, I don't know why.
Got your, you don't want to have a double, so you got your 3rd baseman playing 6 inches. Now with 2 strikes, he backs up a little bit, but he was even with a bag and about 6 inches off the bag, trying to stop a double, but you give up a whole ton of hits to your left.
That is over the head of the pitcher. Tough play. Ramirez can't make it. Base hit. 2nd of the night for Brendan Ryan, and the tying run is on here in the 7th.
Once it got over the mound, he said that it was going to take a phenomenal play because Brendan Ryan runs extremely well. As deep as Ramirez was, he only had a chance to come in here barehanded, and it still would have been a very difficult play. So an infield single, and then Brendan Ryan just continues to be a hitting machine. Eckstein looking for his first hit. This would be a perfect time to get it. Tankersley, lefty, warming up in the bullpen. That'll be for Ankiel.
Fouled off to the left. 0-1 on David Eckstein. So Taylor Tankersley, the lefty, is getting loose. Left-handed hitting Ankiel on deck. Eckstein trying to push Brendan Ryan along. Could be a spot if he wants to run to give it a shot. That's foul. Strike 2.
Would have been nice if that would have been in fair territory and got by the first baseman down into the corner.
Cabrera near the bag and back at third. The 0-2 to Eckstein is not close. Gardner relieved last inning, got the final out by getting Molina. Got the first 2 here in the 7th, and then gave up that chopper to Brendan Ryan that got over his head for a hit. In a 2-1 game, 18 hits.
Cardinals are going to win this game.
You heard it here first. 2-2.
Gardner looked like he might have hurt himself.
Yeah, it looked like it.
On his back or something. Made that delivery and just looked very awkward. And that trainer caught it. He went out to see him. Now the trainer will come out.
2 trainers are out there.
Very good, Joe.
Now Freddie Gonzalez. It looked funny after he let it go.
Watch him release this ball and look how he kind of like leg or something, but back, and then he kind of bent over. A lot of times a manager will come out and he'll tell the umpire this is a injury visit, so it's not charged as 1 of 2, and it looks like Gardner says he's fine, he'll stay in this game, but he's stretching out. That's what made me think it was the back
or maybe a hamstring, something like that. But yeah, there's something there, but Gardner says he's all right and does not.
Well, as a manager, you appreciate a guy, you know, sticking with it, but not at the expense of your team.
Two pitch. Into center field. 2 on, 2 out. Eckstein gets his first hit of the night. That's going to be it for Gardner anyway, you would imagine, with Ankiel coming up and Tankersley getting loose in the bullpen. Here comes Gonzalez. Out goes Gardner. He stayed in long enough to give the Cardinals some hope here in the 7th. We'll take a break. When we come back, Taylor Tankersley will be on the mound with Ankiel coming up. Cardinals camp out presented by Bass Pro Shops and Tracker Boats, Friday, September 7th. A limited number of Cardinal fans will have the opportunity to spend the whole night on the field at the annual Cardinals camp out presented by Bass Pro and Tracker Boats. All campers will also receive a sleeping bag courtesy of Bass Pro Shops. For tickets or more information, go to STLCardinals.com or call 345-9600. No pinch hitter. It will be Tankersley, the lefty, against Rick Ankiel, who went deep off Pignatello, the left-hander, yesterday for the Cubs. 2 on, 2 out, and another chance for the Cardinals, who trail by 1.
Bankers League only batter as a right-hander, Justin Miller, warming up. So we extend the inning. We continue the fairy tale.
Good swing by Ankiel on a pitch that was hittable, up, strike one.
Rick's done a good job on breaking balls. You know, he doesn't bail with that front shoulder against the lefty's breaking ball. Still may get him, but he'll go up there and battle. And what was impressive about his home run yesterday off a lefty is he hit it to the opposite field.
Ankiel under 300 now, 294. 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Good pitch down and away, strike two.
Much better breaking ball there. It was down and ended up clear across the plate. Difference is seeing a good swing on a pitch up in the zone that catches more of the plate, or a good breaking ball designed to be down and away. The awkward swing.
Ankiel on 3 pitches strikes out. The Cardinals strand 2 more, have left 7. We've played 7, and the Marlins leading it still 2-1. Let's go pitch by pitch with that Ankiel at bat.
Breaking ball up in the zone a little bit. Now a real good breaking ball. Watch the catcher. He'll look to set up, and that's a fastball up in the zone. He gets him to swing through it.
So now Troy Percival takes over. Good numbers. Came out of retirement, and it has been worthwhile for both Troy and for the Cardinals. Valuable part of that bullpen, and he will try to keep it a 1-run game. The Cardinals in the bottom of this 8th will have their best shot with Pujols, Edmonds, and Encarnacion. Ludwick stays in the game. He's in left. Ankiel is finished for the night. That's where the pitcher, in this case Percival, will bat in the number 2 spot. And Troy will deal with Ugla, Hermida, and Trainer, the 6, 7, and 8 batters for the Marlins. Ugla 1 for 3. Pitch was up. Ugla fouled it straight back. Strike one. Played for just about 2.5 hours. We're in the 8th.
Benitez is warming up for the Florida Marlins, so he'll come in, try and shut down the Cardinals in the 8th inning.
That's up and away from Troy Percival. It really has been surprising how effective Percival has been after the layoff, coming back and giving it a shot with the Cardinals.
He's convinced himself that he wants to come back next year too.
That's just down and away, 2-1. Great velocity.
Yeah, he's enjoyed himself here, and if asked to come back, he'd be more than happy to, but he wouldn't mind closing someplace else. Got 324 saves, good for 12th on the all-time save list.
Ugla pops it up, right side, might be playable. It is 1 out. So Percival gets a leadoff man, and it'll be Jeremy Hermida, the right fielder, the next hitter.
The thing that you could say about Percival is he has allowed 3 home runs. Struck out 23. He's walked just 5. 3 home runs in his 14 hits in 22 2/3 innings.
That one floats away, ball 1.
Breaking ball has been a little elusive. And he still has it. Stop pitching. Retired for about nearly 2 years with that torn flexor tendon. Never had it surgically repaired. He just said he just, was coaching his son's little league team and throw a little batting practice, kind of figured out it stopped hurting, figured out a different way to use his arm so it was pain-free, and the velocity started slowly coming back.
Really hides the ball well.
Yeah, I mean, when he was in his prime, he would just such a violent delivery and kind of, you know, just would attack hitters, jump at them, had a certain demeanor on the mound that was very aggressive. But that's it too, Joe, is that hiding the ball, and so the hitter doesn't pick up that release point until the ball's already on top of him.
Good breaking ball, pulled foul.
Breaking ball's been inconsistent, but when he was in his prime, that was as explosive as his fastball was. His breaking ball was his dynamite too.
He is a ring winner with the Angels. David Eckstein, Scott Spezio, Angels.
Kennedy.
Adam Kennedy, 2002, and there is out number 2.
That velocity back up 93. And it seems like Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa use him in a little more important roles of late. There were a time when you saw that Franklin was just worn out, that you wondered why, particularly in that Washington series in the nation's capital, why they didn't use more of Percival.
There's a strike to Trainer, 2 for 3 tonight. The base is empty, 2 out. Trainer lays off. Again, the big bats. Pujols, Edmonds, Encarnacion coming up in the bottom of this 8th inning. Pujols has accounted for the only Cardinal run of the night. You know how he did it. Home run number 29. There are the guys. Percival trying to keep it a 1-run game. 1-1 pitch. Strike 2.
Good rip by Trainer, and if he can extend the inning, Todd Linden would be the pinch hitter.
Pitcher spot is due up next. That's Tankersley, who came on to get the final out in the bottom of the 7th by striking out Ankiel with 2 on. Here's a 1-2 to Matt Trainer. Up the middle, and Matt has his 3rd hit of the night. Does indeed keep the inning alive and clear the pitcher's spot and give Linden a chance to bat here in the 8th. So that'll close the book on Tankersley, a 3rd of an inning and 1 strikeout.
Linden was earlier in the season. We saw him when he was with the Giants before he was claimed off of waivers by Florida. He had just 182 in 30 games with San Francisco. Hit well at AAA after he was acquired by the Fish. Hit 375 there. Just 14 games before being promoted to the big leagues.
Ooh, good pitch, ball 1. I don't think old Brucey wants this night to end. He was honored before tonight's game, so he's going to call a tight strike zone, and we're going to watch some extra pitches.
He's been hydrating in between every inning.
Absolutely. That's foul. It's a key to a healthy existence, Al, is just stay hydrated. Whatever you choose to hydrate
whatever
with.
you choose. Everything in moderation.
That's right. But just
unless it's water.
Here's a 1-1 to Todd Linden. Strike 2. 94 from Percival. That's as hard as we've seen him throw tonight.
Remember when he was at Memphis, people were intrigued about him making the comeback, and he said, well, I'm a different pitcher. I'm 88 to maybe 92. And then all of a sudden he started going 93, 94.
Strike 3 over the inside corner. There's 4 outs in that inning. Strike out at the plate. The play down at first doesn't count. Well, here they come, and it starts with Albert. 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up. Bottom of the 8th. 2-1, Florida. Cardinal baseball on FSM Midwest, brought to you by refreshingly smooth Bud Light, always worth it. By Chevrolet, meet the all-new Silverado, 2007 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. See for yourself. Shop and compare at stlchevy.com. And by Advance Auto Parts, providing car care know-how to protect your investment. We're ready in advance. Here is the big right-hander, Armando Benitez. Started the year with the Giants. Traded to the Marlins for Randy Messenger. And this is a guy who's racked up a lot of saves over the years, but it has fizzled out here the last couple.
He's got 9 saves on the year, all those with the Giants. And so no saves, but he's blown at least 3 saves with the Marlins.
Here's Albert. There's strike 1.
ERA is over 5 for the season, but with the Marlins it's 5.22. And this is 32nd game, 51st overall.
Pujols hits it to straightaway center field, but will not elevate it to get it out. Piazza makes the catch, 1 out. Hit on a line, did not get all of it, and Jim Edmonds will be the batter. Benitez was the embattled closer for the Mets. On a long list of guys who had some success, but overall couldn't last, and there are the numbers for Edmonds against this right-hander. On deck is Encarnacion.
Remember, with the Giants, it was Jose Reyes that really got him to self-destruct and got him traded from the Giants.
Edmonds pops it into left, and that's easy. Out number 2. Willingham almost overran that thing.
Like he almost popped out of his glove, like hit on the heel of his glove or something. Come up here, and
it wasn't too pretty.
Yeah, it wasn't real sure-handed. You know, of course, he was a catcher, but they kind of started using him in left field to keep his bat in the game.
There's Encarnacion. 1 for 3, has a double. 2-1 Marlins. Started this stretch with 13 in the next 16 at home, and against a team like the Marlins struggling, the Cardinals can't miss opportunities to beat teams they should beat. Start by Adam Wainwright tonight, 6 innings, 2 runs on 9 hits, but at the moment that's not good enough. Check swing, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Encarnacion has hit very well at home this season. 327. This is 28th start. Young lady doesn't mind the score. He's 1 for 3 tonight.
1 ball, 1 strike. Encarnacion, 2 out, nobody on. Benitez, strike 2. Is that caught a piece of trainer on the way back to the backstop after the foul tip. 1-2.
289 saves in Benitez's career.
Milwaukee is leading in the 5th at Arizona 1-0, and the Cubs are trailing in San Francisco 1-0 in the 3rd. Jason Marquis is pitching for Chicago on his birthday.
Can only happen once a year.
It's true. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Encarnacion takes ball 2. Cardinals, it appears, will send Percival back out there. Allowed a hit in the 8th. Top of the order will bat Ramirez, De Aza, and Cabrera. The 2-2. Chopped at, fouled left side. Cardinals have the Marlins in town now, have the Braves in town over the weekend.
Cardinals have a record of 2-37 when they score less than 3 runs.
Left side, Ramirez gobbles it up, floats it over to first, and that'll put the tying run at second base, and that was not much of a throw at all from Hanley Ramirez. He laid back and just lollipopped it over to first, and the tying run is a hit away.
Joe, that's why you have 20 errors. Just real easy, and look at just a lob toss over here. Jason Wood just really didn't go up. Benitez can't believe it. Got a struggling former closer out there, and look at Benitez just staring him down. Gives the Cardinals new life here in the 8th inning. You've got to take advantage of that.
Benitez just made a motion to Hanley Ramirez, his shortstop. And I don't know that it was in the category of keep your chin up.
Either way, he got the point, huh?
Tying run at second, Yadier Molina going after that first pitch, strike 1, and Benitez is ticked.
And now, that's okay if you got that extra adrenaline surge channel, but if you're just mad at your shortstop,
he's still staring at
yeah, mad at your shortstop, you make a careless pitch. Izzy now up in case the Cardinals take the lead.
Molina with a base hit to right. Here comes Encarnacion. Throw home. Game tied. Benitez not backing up, and Molina's going to make it all the way to third. It's 2-2.
You compound you're mad at your shortstop. You make a careless pitch to the plate. Then you compound it by not backing it up. That's just as bad as the 2-base error. Really a single, takes third on the throw, and then on an error he'll come on home, or he'll go to third as Encarnacion comes home, and Benitez not backing it up, so now you see him go out there and retrieve the ball, but that allows Molina to go all the way to third base. Here's the first error of the inning, as just makes a nice play, but just a little too routine and nonchalant, throws the ball away for a 2-base error. And then a strong throw by Hermedia, but it gets by the catcher, allowing Molina to get to third base.
Well, this started with the error by Hanley Ramirez, but as you said, and it's worth saying again, Benitez, after the error, turned and glared out at his shortstop, made a motion toward him that isn't worth repeating verbally or showing on tape. Ramirez kept his cool. It was not good sportsmanship. He's staring out there, and now he's trying to throw the ball as hard as he can, and Molina was looking for a fastball all the way.
And when you do that, you straighten out. Ball doesn't go as hard. Now he's going to try and overthrow it. Saw the pitching coach go out and just express the desire that from the bench is just, hey, calm down, back off a little bit, relax.
Molina's hit ties it. Miles was ready for that pitch and fouled it straight back. Had a good rip at it. Again, Yadier took second on the throw home and third on the error by the right fielder Hermida. So there he is, the go-ahead run. Cardinals have not led all night. Tying run is scored. The go-ahead run is 90 feet away. It's up to Aaron Miles. 2-1. On deck is Ludwick. Bullpen for the Marlins is quiet. And Aaron Miles' teammates are all perched and ready to celebrate in that dugout if Aaron can come up with another 2-out hit. One after one. 95. It's 2-2.
A rare hitless night at home for Aaron Miles to this point. And Miles hit .323 with runners in scoring position. A little more difficult with 2 outs.
And all hard stuff from Benitez since the error. Miles into right center field, and the Cardinals have taken the lead.
A pesky little hitter, puts the ball in play. Line drive, plugs the gap out there. Molina comes home. The Cardinals have their first lead. The bench is excited. You see when you see Pujols and Edmonds, the real team leaders, and these guys big as cheerleaders, that tells you where this club is feeling right now.
Cardinals have found a way, and they got some help here in this inning with Hanley Ramirez, the 2-out error. Now Ludwick shoots one foul. Boy, he got a good rip. I mean, Benitez is just rearing back. These guys are just waiting on fastballs. I don't care how hard they're throwing. They're thrown, and they're getting good hacks at every pitch this guy throws up there.
That was 96 that Ludwick turned around. He's got a good splitter.
Ramirez thinking about that error, and I have a feeling so's Benitez.
You can't think about that if you're the fielder too. Keep on thinking about it, you commit another one. Not the veteran presence that you want from Benitez to just bury a rookie, not a rookie, but a young player who is one of the best in all the game.
20th error came on that layback lollipop throw to first. Then Benitez gave up the hit to Molina, the hit to Miles. finally back-to-back pitches that were not fastballs, and it's a 1-2 count on Ryan Ludwick, who's 0 for 1.
Cardinals have committed 2 errors. They're up to 87. And with the 2 errors for Florida, 105.
Last in the league in fielding percentage.
Keep on throwing over to first. He'll throw it away.
The Marlins in the 9th will have Hanley Ramirez, the man on the hook right now for Florida, De Aza and Cabrera against Izzy. 2-2 on Ryan Ludwick. Ludwick hits it in the air to left, back at the wall. Ludwick, home run. Cardinals lead by 3.
We say that Ryan Ludwick has really been one of those guys that, you know, put a little charge in this team.
And that's it for Benitez.
Couldn't overcome the error by his third baseman, but he did more mistakes than his shortstop.
Hanley Ramirez hanging his head in toward that meeting on the mound. Ludwick has delivered another big one. His 11th of the year. And it gives the Cardinals some breathing room. A 4-run 8th inning and a 5-2 lead. Ryan Ludwick has come up with one big hit after another for the Cardinals, and you can certainly say the same for Aaron Miles, whose base hit put the Cardinals on top 3-2. Now it's 5-2 after the Ludwick homer. Chris Duncan is going to bat against the new right-hander Justin Miller. Duncan is batting, by the way, for Brendan Ryan, which is an interesting move.
Yeah. Chris really struggling right now.
I think the real reason why is they want to put Rolen in the game at third and get Ryan, who's still learning the position, out of the hot corner here with a lead now as we head toward the 9th inning. But that's got to be the move because Ryan is gone and Rolen is up and moving around, probably take over defensively. A swinging strike on Chris Duncan.
Chris really, instead of reacting, is up there guessing, and one of the things that he has done is if he guessing wrong, sits up and misses a fastball, then he'll let that one strike affect the next 2.
Duncan strikes out and the inning is over. The Cardinals get 4 unearned runs against Armando Benitez and now hand a 3-run lead to Jason Isringhausen. They're having fun down there, aren't they? Back in the race and leading by 3 tonight. The big hits in the bottom of the 8th. Yadier Molina tied it with a 2-out hit. Aaron Miles put the Cardinals on top. A little squeaky 1-run lead until Ludwick hit his 11th home run to make it a 5-2 Cardinal advantage, and the Cardinals will turn it over to one of the most consistent closers in the big leagues this year, Jason Isringhausen. Since 2002, he's been with the Cardinals, 343 games, 196 saves, and 227 opportunities, and a Cardinal ERA of 2.5. In the meantime, on the other side, the Marlins have gone through during that same time frame. Kevin Gregg, Borowski, Todd Jones, Benitez, Braden Looper is now a Cardinal, and Vladimir Nunez.
See Kevin Gregg, who is the Florida Marlins closer now. Another one of those guys that escaped from the Angels. And a very close friend of Troy Percival, who, if Izzy does his job and picks up his 24th save of the season, he'll make Percival the winner in this one, 3-0.
Here's the 0-1 to Ramirez, and it was the throw by Ramirez which allowed the Cardinals to come up with 4 unearned runs in the bottom of the 8th. He made the mistake, but the Cardinals took advantage of that opportunity. They had chances all night, and they came through in the 8th. 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike from Isringhausen, who had a 2-inning save yesterday in Chicago.
His first 2-inning save since August 8th of 2002. It was against Montreal, but one of the few times that he's had to pitch back-to-back save opportunities.
That's high, 3-1. Marlins have lost 6 straight coming into tonight's game. Trail 5-2 and would love to get Ramirez on to start this 9th inning. With De Aza next. That's low. A leadoff walk. So Hanley Ramirez is on to start this 9th inning. Second time he's been aboard, and Isringhausen will work to Alejandro De Aza.
You wonder how tempted that Tony was to just leave Percival in to finish this one out, only because Izzy pitched 2 innings yesterday.
De Aza takes a strike. And Molina wants to chat.
In yesterday's game was talking about how he'd struggled with the cutter and not being able to throw it. A few times in Ramirez's bat, the ball didn't go where he wanted it, but his fastball was good enough to get by. And sometimes, you know, the fun of pitching is pitching when you don't have your best stuff.
Good pitch, drops in for a strike. It's 0-2.
Had the curveball working there. You don't have that bread and butter cutter. That curveball is a pitch that has really been so consistent for him in the last couple of years.
And that's out in front of the plate, and hops foul. Still 0-2. Nice to have that 3-run lead. It'd be even bigger for Isringhausen to get De Aza with somebody like Miguel Cabrera waiting on deck. Cabrera with his 30 home runs. Play behind Ramirez at first. Another 0-2. One away, a strikeout and a foul tip. And the best Cabrera can do is make it a 1-run game.
For 5 against Jason with a strikeout.
It's homered tonight.
They were playing behind the runner at first. Now they'll hold him on with a right-handed batter.
Guy at first, Ramirez, with 39 stolen bases, was caught earlier tonight.
Yeah, but why didn't he go when Albert was playing behind him? Now a ground ball in the infield could end the game.
I think Hanley's got something running through his mind that happened a little while ago, right or wrong. He made that error that opened the floodgates. 1-0 pitch from Izzy. Good zip on that fastball, 1-1.
I've been shocked by a pitch up that was called a strike.
Well hit in the air to right center field. Back is Encarnacion near the track. 2 out. And the Marlins are down to their final out as the Cardinals try and kick off this homestand with a come from behind victory. Cardinals trailed from the 3rd inning until the bottom of the 8th with 2 out and nobody on, and came up with 4.
Cardinals, when they're leading after 8 innings, are 50-0.
And that's because mainly of the work of that guy.
Only had 2 blown saves, but looking for save number 24 in 26 opportunities. He's 4-0 in those games, so a couple of those he came back and got wins.
Molina keeps the runner Ramirez at first. We came on the air tonight talking about the Cardinals, their schedule, playing 13 of their next 16 at home, jumping back into the race with that 4-2 trip through Milwaukee and Chicago. Start of the night, just 3 games out.
3 games out, 3 games under 500, and 3 games over 500 at home.
Diamondbacks just tied Milwaukee 2-2 in the bottom of the 6th, and the Cubs are trailing at San Francisco in the bottom of the 5th. So 1-1 pitch, 2-1. Three and 1. Willingham reaches. It will be Jason Wood at the plate representing the tying run.
He went in for defense.
They took Mike Jacobs out. In the air to right center field. Edmonds is there, and the Cardinals win it 5-2. And the exhale from Jason Isringhausen, who shuts it down after the Cardinals come up with big hits from Molina, Miles, and Ludwick in the bottom of the 8th. We'll take a break, come back. 5-2, Cardinals win it. Good start to this 3-game set. The Cardinals beat the Florida Marlins.
Look at that, a 5-2 Cardinal win here, the first of a 3-game set with the Florida Marlins. And this, I think, Al, you've seen way more games than I have this year, but this is in the category of stealing one away and a fun game in the end to witness and a big win.
And Joe, you've seen a lot of times when a team goes to postseason, they have these type of games during the course of the year. We haven't had many, but we're starting to peak at the right time, and we're starting to have a little fun. This team believes in itself right now, and they are in striking distance.
It's one thing to get the opportunity like they did in the 8th inning. It's another to make the most of it. And from Molina to Miles to Ludwick, those were 3 big hits in a row.
Yeah, and the good thing is they're guys that you're really not expecting big things from all the time. But Molina was a big star of this game. Here in the first inning, throws out Ramirez. He has 39 steals, and he gets thrown out in the first. In the 4th inning, he gets a base hit. And later on in the 8th inning, he ties the game with this big base hit to right field. He ends up over at 3rd base, and then he comes home on Miles's base hit. And so, you know, he was a big part of that 4th inning. He's a big part of all the, and he caught every inning on the road trip, and now he starts the first game here at home.
And he starts it with a Budweiser player of the game. That's Yadier Molina. So the Cardinals win it by 3. Great start. 13 of the next 16 at home. That's what we talked about at the start of the night. And this is the right way to begin this run here at home. Pat, it's all yours.
Joe, Al, thanks very much. Yeah, the Cardinals have come from behind win. The game is over, but we're just getting started right here on Budweiser Cardinals Live. Coming up, the Cardinals return to Busch Stadium in a playoff hunt. Will a week of home cooking put the Redbirds in first place? Plus, just how good have the Cardinals been with Rick Ankiel in the lineup? And we'll bring you Tony La Russa's post-game comments and go all access inside the Cardinals clubhouse for reaction. It's all just 90 seconds away on Budweiser Cardinals Live.
He has remade himself as a major league player from a pitcher to a slugging outfielder, so it's probably time to mention his name is actually pronounced Ankiel. 3 syllables if you can hear him in there, but as Rick recently said himself, he had more important things to worry about when he was first trying to break into the bigs. His story is arguably the most incredible of this major league season, uplifting a club rent by the grief of losing a teammate this spring, and we learn more of it now in this conversation with Peter Gammons.
Ankiel out to deep right field, has a chance to leave the ballpark. It's gone! A 3-run shot for Rick Ankiel back in the major leagues. Remarkable.
Rick, when you hit that first home run, what did you think about going around the bases?
I almost couldn't believe it happened, and going around the bases is almost like I floated around the bases, and when I came into the dugout, it was such an overwhelming feeling and welcome from the fans and my teammates.
What's been the greatest joy for you in this comeback and being in the big leagues and hitting the home runs and making the catch?
Just being successful at it. You know, when I was pitching, I would always make comments that I could be a hitter, and so now I actually get the chance to prove it. And, you know, certainly here of late, I've been backing it up, and obviously this season, I think I backed it up. So it's just nice to go out there and have bragging rights.
A couple of years ago, it was 2006. You were taking BP early on in Jupiter. And you came out and you said to me, this is as happy as I've ever been playing baseball. Do you wish you'd always been a hitter?
I'm not sure. I mean, you can shoulda, coulda, woulda, but you know, pitching was the fast track for me, and you know, looking back at it, there's no telling what I could have done as a pitcher. So, but as of now, yeah, outfield is great, and you know, I'm happy the way things have went, and happy to be here.
Every time you play, you have to watch videos of what happened in 2000.
Almost. It seems like that stuff always comes up, but you know, hopefully one day I'll put that to rest and move on to the future.
Don't you think you've done that now?
I would like to think so. Definitely.
Knowing what you know now about yourself, would you kind of like to go back to 2000 again? Or do you just look forward?
I just look forward. The past is the past. You can't change it. And just looking forward to looking forward.
But wasn't the grind when you were having to fight through all this after 2000, was that more tiring than any physical work that you did?
Yeah, because that was mental. I mean, and you know, the mental grind that took to deal with that day in and day out was just, you know, it was really, it got to a point where it was unbearable, and that's when I made the decision to switch.
What about that day in 2005? Did you intend to quit, or did you go in and ask them if you could go play the outfield?
No, I just retired from pitching, and that was, you know, basically that was all I was really thinking about at that time, and that was a big decision. And you know, I went home and was just kind of relaxing on the couch and thinking it all over and happy about the decision that I made. And you know, then the question came about playing outfield, and that was it. I showed up the next day, was dressed and on the field in the outfield.
Did you feel some relief then?
Absolutely. I mean, it felt like the world had been taken off my shoulders.
You ever look back and say, it could have been different?
Sure. I mean, you look at all the big contracts that are being handed out, and that's certainly something that I'll laugh about sometimes. But you know, if I wouldn't have got hurt, I wouldn't have met my wife, and you know, I wouldn't be here right now. So you know, some things are for a blessing.
Is it worth more to have overcome what you've overcome?
I think it is. You know, it's such a personal satisfaction to get back here, and just to be able to do what I'm doing right now is special, and yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world.